Hey guys, Welsknight here, and welcome back to another episode from the Hermitcraft server. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. I'm having a fantastic day. We're here at the Yes Wings Club, and I just wanted to check and see how we're doing on signups. Let's just take a peek. Impulse, Wells, Cub, XB, and B-Dubs. So, 3 new people. I've been doing a fair amount of recruiting over the last couple days. Maybe you'll end up seeing it in some of the other Hermits videos, maybe not. But I've been trying to convince some people to sort of, come over here and join the Yes Wings Club. So, yeah, not too bad. But anyway, today I want to do another project that is going to help us exponentially with our base. Oh, also, by the way, I started making a path here that's going to lead over to our base. And I also made this path that leads to the Yes Wings Club. So that was me, in case you'd seen it and some other people had commented on it. But anyway, for our base, we're getting pretty close to the point where we can start the Mega Base project. And I'm actually very excited. How good at flying am I? Yeah, I'm pretty good. Okay, we're good. Anyway, so you may remember that we made a checklist, and I can't remember if we did this in our last episode or the episode before, but we made a little checklist here of things that we need to get done before we start our Mega Base. And Mega Smelter is on here. These 3 things do not need to get done before we start the Mega Base. These are just things I want to do at some point over the course of the season, fairly early on. However, I did forget something, and that's a cactus farm. We actually need a cactus farm because I want to use a lot of cyan terracotta in our base, and I don't want to have to buy it all. So I think a cactus farm is going to be pretty important. How much cactus do I actually have? That's a good question. I've got about 2.5 stacks. That's not a whole lot of cactus, but it should be enough to at least kind of get us started here. Let me throw my proper helmet on. I suppose I could also go to the desert and just, grab some cactus as well. But I think the first thing I want to do is build a cactus farm, and I'm thinking I want to put it over way across the ocean again by our squid farm, so that while I'm AFKing for squid ink, I can also be AFKing for cactus. Because the thing about a cactus farm is, you make this big cactus farm, and you just end up with so much cactus, and you never use it all. So having a farm that's not running 24/7, I think is probably a better idea. We'll just make it over there where it'll only be active when we actually need it. But cactus farms, they're pretty simple, super easy to make, don't take too long. And we're not going to try and reinvent the wheel here. So let me get some stuff together and let me get started on that. And, maybe we'll see if we can come up with something cool. Okay, I've got the first layer of the cactus farm all finished. And I also got the item collection system taken care of as well. We've got these 2 chests right here that will collect all the goodies. For those of you who have never built a cactus farm in Minecraft before, it is extremely simple. You can make this essentially as big as you want, but I started with a 17 by 17 square right here, and then just basically cut a line down the middle, and that's basically 8 blocks here, so the water comes to the very edge, and 8 blocks on this side. So again, the water comes to the very edge, and then just inset 1 block from the corner and up 1 full block. You can see this slab is on the top half of this second block above the water. You just throw it on a slab, or technically, I suppose this could be a full block as well. Sand, cactus, and then above it, you make a little sort of grid pattern up here with, I use glass panes. You can also use fences, iron bars, anything along those lines should work. The idea is that when the cactus breaks, it'll shoot off in one of these directions, hit the panes, and rather than landing on another cactus and disappearing, it'll hit one of the panes, drop straight down into the water, and then ultimately go to this little collection system. The reason I went 17 by 17 is because this collection system here then is also an 8-block stream to a single block in the center where I can drop it all into one big water stream where it'll get picked up by one hopper. Well, technically 2 hoppers, because there's a hopper that leads into this one, but you get the idea. So that's basically it. 17 by 17. 1 cactus will produce approximately 3 cactus per hour. I think it takes on average about 18 minutes for a cactus to grow. So this is 1 full stack of cactus on each layer. So 1 layer would produce approximately 3 stacks of cactus per hour. And I think I want to go... I'm thinking maybe like 5 layers, like 4 or 5. So I'm going to keep building this up. And from here, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, all we got to do is essentially continue the pattern. So the white concrete will go directly on top of the glass. We'll have this gray concrete sort of bar around it, which is what holds the water in place. And that's basically the plan. Let me get it done. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the cactus farm is done. I decided to do 4 layers, and after I finished it, I AFK'd at it for, I don't know, maybe an hour or 2, a couple hours, and we've gotten a decent amount of cactus. So it is working pretty well. Again, cactus is one of those things that, like, you need it, but you don't need nearly as much of it as you think you do. Because 1 stack of cactus goes a long way. I mean, 1 stack of cactus will make 2 stacks of cyan dye, which will make 16 stacks of cyan terracotta. So, like, that's a lot. So I didn't want to go, like, too overboard with the size of this thing, because otherwise we're just going to have a ton of cactus that never actually gets used. But yeah, I think this is good. This will work well. We also managed... Oh, by the way, this was definitely Joe Hills writing a poem on the side of my squid farm, because just Joe things. While I was AFKing, I also got some time alone on the server as well, so I managed to get a few more stacks of ink sacs as well. So all in all, pretty good. I think this thing is up and running, and now we've got the green dye problem sorted. I'm just going to grab, I don't know, maybe about that much. That looks to be about as much as we can carry. And we'll take that back to our base, and we can dive into our next project for the day. Before I forget, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a heads up that the next Hermitcraft episode after this one is probably going to take a bit longer to come out than normal. And there's a couple reasons for that. The next project I want to tackle is the last thing on that list that we have over there, which is the Mega Smelter, so that I can start working on my Mega Base afterwards. And also, my mom is actually coming down from Wisconsin to Tennessee to come and visit me, which is wonderful. So I'm getting a little bit of a visit from a family. For you non-Americans, it's a very long distance to travel. That's basically the equivalent of going from like the northernmost part of the UK all the way to the southernmost part of the UK. Like, it's not exactly a small, it's a long trip. And she's going to be here for a few days. And obviously, while my family is coming to visit me, I don't particularly want to be working on videos. So I'm going to end up taking probably like, I don't remember exactly how many days she's going to be here, but like 4 or 5 days probably off of like a short vacation. So during that time, I'm not going to be working on Hermitcraft episodes or any other YouTube videos for that matter. So just kind of keep that in mind. The next episode after this one is probably going to take about, I'm going to guess like 2 weeks, because I want to start designing my mega base as well. And that's going to involve a lot of time spent in a creative testing world, doing things that aren't actually going to be in the video. Experimenting, trying out designs, planning, lots of trial and error, and lots of stuff that ultimately doesn't end up in the video at all. So yeah, just kind of bear that in mind. But next project, as I said a minute ago, Super Smelter, or Mega Smelter, more like, because I do know that the Mega Base is going to involve a lot of glass. And glass takes a long time to make if you only have a couple of furnaces. So we need a very large smelter. I don't know exactly where I want to put it. I do know that I'm probably going to do a design that involves a lot of minecarts, because it's the easiest way to evenly distribute resources and materials. I also know that we're not going to be using blast furnaces or anything like that. We're just going to be using regular furnaces, because unfortunately blast furnaces do not work on glass, and that is going to be the primary thing that we're smelting huge quantities of. So let me start getting some stuff together. Let me kind of figure out where I want to put this thing and how big I want it to be, and I'll catch up with you in just a moment. Before we start tackling this Mega Smelter, Super Smelter project thing, I think I actually need to do a little bit of shopping. I have 2 baked potatoes. That is my entire cooked food at the moment. So I think I'm going to swing over here to the gas station, because I believe they are selling golden carrots. Let's see here. Golden carrots, 2 stacks for a diamond. So let's just go, you know what? There we go. We have enough golden carrots now to last us for some time. So that's good. That takes care of our food situation. And then I also need to head over to the Bodum Village, because over here in the Bodum Village is Impulse's newest shop. This hot air balloon. I forget what he called it. I Floatum. There you go. And he is selling gold. Let's see. I don't see a price listed. I'm going to assume it's 1 diamond for a few stacks. So let's just get like 4. Let's just get a stack of blocks, basically. And then these, I'm going to hold off on the Wither Roses for now, but we're probably going to be buying a lot of those over the course of the season, because unless I make my own Wither Rose farm, the Squid farm just isn't really cutting it. There's too many people online all the time. Eventually, when the server dies down a little bit, as it always does in every season, you know, people start to stop playing like quite as much. So, you know, the time will come when I'll have a little bit more server time to myself. But we'll probably have to make use of the Wither Rose farm, or the Wither Rose shop, I should say, at some point. But the big thing I needed was blocks of gold, because we can use those to make powered rails. And this smelter is going to require a whole lot of powered rails. So I've been doing a fair amount of thinking on this whole Super Smelter project thing, and originally I was going to go for something really kind of overboard, like, I don't know, 200 plus furnaces, something equivalent to the Mega Smelter that I made in whatever Hermitcraft season it was that I sold glass. I think it might have been season 5 or season 6, I don't know. Either way, I was thinking about it, I'm like, you know what? I don't need that much glass. So I think I'm going to go with a 64 furnace super smelter. So a stack of furnaces, basically. And in order to do that, I have dug out an area down here. I believe this is 47 by 15 by 5. And the setup that I'm going to create should fit quite nicely in this little space with one extra block around the back for, think of it like a maintenance tunnel, right? Like in case I need to get back behind it and mess with the redstone and whatever, if it breaks or something like that, I'll have just a little bit of space back here to make it work. So I think this should be good. The basic idea is you'll have the center area here, and then there will be 16 furnaces on like each quadrant, basically. So 16 furnaces here, 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 and here. And it's going to be fairly similar to some of the other smelter systems I've designed over the years, using minecarts, basically, to distribute the things that are being smelted and also the fuel. And I think I'm going to put 2 fueling minecarts kind of right here in the center, and each one will basically deal with half the furnace, and then the idea will be eventually we'll make like a kelp farm and automatically send dried kelp to these furnaces so that they can get, so we can basically use dried kelp for all of our smelting needs. So I think that'll be good. But I have a lot of stuff to do. I have a lot of rails to place and furnaces to place and all that kind of stuff. So let me get to it, and I will update you momentarily. All right, my friends, bit of a update for you. The auto smelter itself is finished. This is it. It's functional. This would totally work. I could walk away right now and it would all be fine. So it's very straightforward. Basically, we just have, as I said, 4 rows of furnaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Each of these is 16 furnaces, like per row or whatever. And you've got hoppers underneath that ultimately flow to a chest over here. So this batch of furnaces flows to this one, this batch flows to this one, etc. And then in the back, there's hoppers going into the furnaces, and these are going to be the fuel. This is the fuel line, basically. So this rail system basically comes all the way over to this minecart right here. So if I flip this lever, it will send the rail out and back. Did it get stuck? Technical difficulties? Did we lose a... Oh, it got stuck on this corner. That's not good. That's a problem. Minecarts on servers, they're so... So it got stuck on this block. Okay. Well, that's not great. Oh, no, it didn't. It got... Why did this not get lit up? It got stuck on this... If I put you right here, why is this rail not being powered? Okay, now it's powered. Rails are so finicky in this game. Like, why would that not work? I don't know. Let me just double check this rail line over here. Yeah, look, same issue right here. There's no reason that this rail should not be powered. Other than the game just is like, nah. So weird. Whatever. It's fine. Okay. So I think we got that sorted now. So anyway, now if I press this lever, the fuel minecart should basically go all the way over, and then it'll just work its way back. And that way it evenly distributes the coal or the dried kelp or whatever we're using for fuel to all of the furnaces. And then here, these are the smeltable fuel lines. So we fill each of these chests, we smack the lever, and eventually they will work their way back. There we go. Little funky because the first time it was constructed, but they'll do basically the same thing. They'll evenly distribute all of the things that we are smelting. So iron ore or glass or whatever. And that's basically how the whole thing works. Now all we need to do is pretty it up and make it look a little bit more visually appealing. Because this isn't great, let's be honest. But yeah, I think this is pretty good. This will serve us very well. Let me get it, looking pretty. And, we'll go from there. Okay, my friends, I think I have finished it. I think it's all done. I still got to tear the beacon and stuff out, and I probably will pretty up this staircase at some point in the future, but I think it's all finished, and the room is looking pretty good. I like how it turned out. All that's really left to do is test this thing. So first off, let's actually just do one stack of coal. Each one of these is supposed to go to 32 furnaces. So what should happen is the minecart will make its way around, and when it comes back, they should all have 2 coal in them. So let's just double check. Good. Double check the ones on the end. Yup, okay. That's a good sign. Awesome. Okay, so that appears to be working. So now, let's just dump a couple more things of coal in here. Eventually, we'll swap this out for something else. And then, last but not least, let's go and just chuck a couple copper. Let's see. Something like this. That should be... Yep, that should be even. All right, so we'll flip this. These should all light up. Nice. Very nice. Okay. And then last but not least, we just do the same thing on this side. Flip the lever. And there we go. Look at that. We got ourselves a proper super smelter. 64 furnaces. This thing should serve us pretty well. I'm excited. All right, that is another thing checked off the list. Also, this is our little access tunnel to go back to, if we need to, service any of the redstone or any of that kind of stuff. So, sweet. We've got it done. And you know what, guys? I think I am pretty much out of time for this episode, so I'm going to call this one here. If you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Links in the description below, so check that out as well. Otherwise, my friends, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.